This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with Johnny Karlic.
I told you you'd die for that.
I don't know what I'm dying for, but apparently I am dying for something as we are here for
You're dying to see this movie!
We are here for the Rick and Johnny podcast right here on Most Valuable Podcast. You might notice something at the beginning of this. You're like, Ricky, that what's up was weak as hell. What is going on? Well, yesterday, as we were recording this on Friday, which is like, first you're like, whoa, why am I seeing you guys on a Saturday? I usually have to wait until Monday to see you guys. Well, this Sunday is Easter, and both Johnny and I will be busy, so we decided to record the podcast on Friday instead of Sunday. Number two, you're going to be like, Ricky, your voice sounds a little different. I was yelling at some first graders because we're getting ready for our concert, and they were being a little squirrely, so I had to raise my voice for a second, and I blew out either a vocal cord or ruined my voice. It is hoarse. So I'm getting over that. Yeah, it's a little hoarse. So I'm getting over that. You might get sounds like that just came up. I ask you to bear with it for this podcast. But Johnny, we got a jam-packed show. Rick and Johnny podcast. If you are new, this is where we talk about entertainment, TV, movies, superheroes, comics, everything under the two nerdy sons. And we got a jam-packed show talking about Avengers Endgame. It's our final predictions before Johnny, Dave, and myself see it next Friday. We're going to have a nice dinner at the theater. We're going to go see it, and then we're coming right here after.
We're going to show them all that shit on Twitter as well?
The movie. Well, I mean, you should always follow us on Twitter at Ricky Widmer, at Most Valuable Pod, at War Machine 9085, and then Dave at Dave_don't_tweet, except Dave don't tweet. So don't expect him to put anything up there. Just follow him for the hell of it. But we're talking about Avengers, our final predictions. Then we've kind of got a DC show for the rest of it. Going to be looking at the future of DC Universe because there's some rumblings there, and we're also going to throw in some Swamp Thing thoughts as we get our first look at that. And then we're going to end the show talking about John Cena possibly joining Suicide Squad 2. Possibly joining Suicide Squad 2. Who could he be playing? What does that mean for the movie and everything? But Johnny, before we get into the Avengers, first I have to throw out, if you want to support us, we're trying to get a new studio. Make sure to check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. If you want a graphic conversation a week early, as low as $1, you can get that right now. If you want to know, Dave has a bandage on his finger in some of the podcasts.
Does he?
How did he do that? Well, you can find out. The MVP podcast, everyone will find out in May how he did that. But for as low as one of those, $1, you can go ahead and find out right now. How did Dave
I'm going to be
his
taking that
finger?
back at the end. That was just for show.
I think, or is it mine? Is that a donation to MVP?
It's definitely not a donation to MVP. I actually need that money to pay for bills.
So if you want to know what happened to Dave's thumb, as low as $1, it's up on our Patreon page right now. We also talked about some great things on the first ever MVP podcast. But Johnny, let's dive into everything. And before we get into predictions and stuff for Avengers, you're calling it our PSA, but I'm letting you run the show here for a little bit.
Yeah, so
you have a PSA heading into Avengers Endgame.
Okay, so, I mean, what I heard this past week, and I sent it to you, I showed you, I told a bunch of our other friends, be careful about it as well. Someone, supposedly, and I'm not going to, because I didn't look for it myself, because I'm not going to do that to myself. Someone supposedly put out the end of Endgame on the internet somewhere. Someone was saying that they saw the pre-showings of it and saw the end of Endgame, filmed it, and put it online. Even when it comes out that Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, wait till the next week to post things other than the fact that you went to the theater, maybe some vague things of, hey, this movie was great.
It's very different when Ricky drops a spoiler of a year-old movie, and it's like, okay, you've had a year to see it.
Most of the time when you and I say spoilers, unless it's during our movie, give me the word. Reviews, thank you. We usually are joking because it's usually more than a year old. But at least give everyone a week to have seen the movie before you do spoilers, because this is a hugely dick move for anyone to do.
Troll's gonna troll, man.
I know Troll's gonna troll, but this is like
and
for me and you.
And that is why this PSA, I think it's useless to
That's
tell
true.
people not to do it. The PSA should be you not wanting to get your spoilers spoiled. It's your job just to cut everything off for a week.
That's true too.
Cut everything off. You cannot trust them to not spoil the movie.
I can
because trolls are going to troll. Dicks are going to be dicks.
I can do my part to say, don't be a dick and do it. If you're going to be a dick, then you're always a dick. Apparently,
dicks are going to be dicks, though.
Dicks are going to be dicks.
Yeah.
But for the people that maybe, oh shit, I didn't think about it. Remember, you have friends that probably haven't seen the movie yet. Give it a week before you start saying shit online about it.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the other side. If you don't want things spoiled, just cut everything off for a week. It's only a week.
Yeah.
Take the phone, lock it up, put it in the safety deposit box. Well, no, don't do that because you'll still need to call people. I was
going to say,
just delete Twitter and stuff. Don't go on social media for a week. I've done it. It's not terrible. I mean, your beard grows faster when you don't social media. That's a common fact.
Yeah, because I have that problem.
That is a common fact. The beard grows faster the longer you're not on social media.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is ironic because Dave, who's never on social media, has nothing and can't grow anything. So that's funny.
And I'm on it.
That.
I check stuff daily, Ricky.
Yeah, then maybe it's the opposite.
I think your facts are wrong.
Maybe social media makes your beard grow even fuller. But Johnny, we are looking at final predictions for us for Avengers Endgame. I am going to let you start. Where do you want to start us off with this topic? Because this is an open-ended one.
This is very open-ended.
There's tons of theories. We're going to get into what we think will happen at the end, what we think will happen in it. What's something from this
Let's start
movie?
with the ending, because that's the easiest one to jump into. What do you think is going to happen in the ending of it?
Well, Thanos will be defeated.
Okay, defeated, dead, or defeated?
I'm going to say defeated. I don't know if he'll be dead.
Okay.
What I am thinking for the very end is, so they have all this quantum energy, and they're jumping back in different time. They're using those time portals to jump to different points of the timeline. I think at the end of the movie, the evildoer will be the evildoers will be vanquished. But because they were jumping around in time, their reality has been changed. And that's how we get the X-Men in the universe. Where I think it's going to be everything's back to normal, or is it back to normal? And then that's where it's going to leave off, because then Spider-Man Far From Home picks up moments after Endgame ends.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can agree with a lot of that. I mean, it's going to be Thanos defeated, whether they...
Do you think he dies?
I don't know. It's a hard choice, because I don't know if they're going to really do... If they're going to do comic book version, or they kind of... I think they warped his mind in case you haven't read it. Sorry, spoilers. Infinity Gauntlet. They warped his mind, made him a farmer for the rest of his time.
Well, he's in the Soul Gem.
He's in the Soul Gem. Okay, there you go.
He's in the Soul Gem with Adam Warlock.
Okay. Well, that part's
He's
not
a farmer in the Soul
That
Gem.
part's not going to happen with with Adam Warlock.
I don't know. Adam Warlock could be in it.
I don't know if he's going to be in Infinity War.
No, he won't.
They're
going to save that for Guardians 3.
We have very little setup for it. But yeah, when Guardians 3 kicks back in 2021?
I think so.
I think they're gonna pull him back out, because we had a setup for him, but nothing. But everyone's gonna come back. But it's gonna be via, like you said, time travel. It's gonna alter things so they can make slight alterations.
Do you think
to the timeline?
Do you think we get an X-Men reference at the end of the movie or post credit?
The biggest X-Men reference ever, because we are not. I don't think we're gonna get post credit. This movie is too close to when the deal was finally finished to actually have thrown a scene in there for that.
I think we will. I think we're going to get a mid-credit scene teasing the Avengers. It's not going to have any actor.
Excuse me.
What I think they did, and this is me going off on a limb here.
Yeah.
I think what they did is the Russos were like, and Kevin Feige were like, okay, listen, we're going to record this. We are going to film this mid-credit scene teasing the X-Men, or just teasing mutants in general.
Okay.
I think what I would do is just have, like, maybe it's it comes in like very Marvel mid-credit kind of a way, where it's just like after boom it goes black, and then boom, convenience store. Just regular convenience store where you're sitting there going, all right, what is this? And then you just hear a television, like a newscast. And the camera just kind of like pans into that. And it is like a politician or something, or it's basically them talking about human and mutant relationships. And that's all we need. Just to be able to say the word mutant is all we need. And then boom. And then the credits. And then we get whatever scenes after. Because I feel like they might have been ballsy enough to say, hey, we're going to record this little scene. And if the deal goes through and we're able to use it, fucking great. Mm-hmm. If not, it doesn't hurt the film. It doesn't hurt us, and we can do it a different way.
I think another way they could go about it then, because I agree with you. Well, I mean, I guess we'll put it on the table.
Contingency plans, Johnny.
But we'll put it on the table then. We both agree everyone's going to come back, right?
Like characters?
Character-wise, that's what, snapped away ones?
Oh,
I think everyone snapped away is going to come back.
But everyone alive is not going to
I'm not saying that part.
Okay.
Everyone that snapped is going to come back, which means...
Potentially, yes. I have to think about that.
I'm going to go... I think it's going to be... Everyone snapped away is going to come back.
Well, because
Our initial Avengers...
It's BS, because we know Spider-Man's coming back. He's got a new movie. We know there's going to be a Doctor Strange 2, so he's going to come back.
Yeah.
We know there's going to be a Black Panther 2, so we know either Black Panther or Shuri. We know that either one of those are going to come back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. The Falcon one is not quite... Or Bucky. Well,
Bucky and Falcon, I think, are because they don't have a series coming.
But that could be set before Endgame.
That's true. You're right. Okay.
So that could be
before
Endgame.
I think everyone snapped is going to come back. Well, the loss is going to be the ones that are left right now.
Yeah, I think so.
That's where I think the loss is going to come in.
I want to ask you a question though, and this is a theory that plays into who
I get my other point real quick. The reason I was setting that part up, just getting on the table, because I think another after credit scene would be more likely, or to me more likely, that they're going to like tell Scarlet Witch, hey, it wasn't the stone necessarily that gave you your powers. It was the stress induced by that, because that's how mutants are born.
Question.
No. What?
Do you think...
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, do we get a Professor X mid-credit? I'm saying mid-credit because I don't think it'll be the end credit. Or, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to say
just
end
say
credit.
After credit scene.
No, I'm going to say end credit because I feel like if I'm dropping the X-Men bomb... I want it the very last thing you see before you walk out, because that leaves you to the future.
The future.
I wonder if we could get... Because remember when we got the Thanos and he turned and he smiled?
Yeah.
That wasn't Josh Brolin.
No, it wasn't.
They didn't know who was going to play.
That was, to me... But the reason that was okay, it was less the fact that who was going to act in it when they finally made him a character and having the rights.
Just let me finish.
I know contingencies.
Let me finish on Padawan.
Don't you fucking call me Padawan.
What if we get a scene like that teasing a Professor X and all we see is the back of a bald head in a wheelchair and a voice? Because what I'm thinking is, this is roughly what I'm thinking. Someone's buying what looks to be the Xavier
school for
mutants, and it's an end credit scene of him buying that, and all we see of him is the back of his head in the wheelchair, and him just saying like one word, like "it's perfect," and then boom.
That's two words.
And it's like, oh my god, the X-Men are here! Like the X-Men are moving in.
Okay, I maybe, but like I said, the whole problem to me is I don't know if Marvel and Disney would go the route of filming that only because the rights were still like on the table.
Technically,
up until,
they could get in trouble, but I think they could be ballsy enough to do it or try to get something. I don't think it's too much of applause to say, "Hey, we have this short little thing. It won't take us a ton of time to record."
Yeah, I know.
Edit if the deal goes through like it did.
Maybe that's what I'm like. I'm a 50-50 on the fence about if they would do it or not. So not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's all about when it comes to if they decide to do it with the rights or not.
Or I would love, this is not going to happen, but I would love it. I would love the internet thing of, so the Fox Disney deal went through. They picked up the phone, called Ryan Reynolds, and they say, "Hey, do you want to be the first Fox character in a Disney movie, and it's just an end credit scene of Deadpool in the white Avengers suit. All right, guys, I'm here. Oh, fuck, I missed it. Oh, fuck me. He's like, oh, fuck.
Bleeping it all out.
Yeah. Oh, bleep, 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 bleep. That would be funny. And then it would be like, oh, the Fox deal is through. And he goes, the Fox deal is through.
You want to be
All right,
funnier
thank you,
after
you're in
credit
time.
scene?
What?
And Ryan Reynolds, they could probably got Ryan Reynolds to do it right off the bat.
Because they don't even need him in the suit, technically. They just need his voice.
That's true. But I would say, have him come in with the suit and everything.
I think I cut myself.
Oh,
on
nice.
this.
Good job.
On this little thing behind it, I cut myself
Nice.
on the
You were
end
swinging
of it.
your arms around?
Yeah, I did. I literally swung my arm.
So, think about this. He just like,
I get into the character. I'm a method actor.
okay. after credit scene for Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
Kind of stinks.
I
Go
bet.
ahead. Go.
I bet.
Keep
I
going.
got one of those.
Keep going, so I got something to focus on.
Comes out. Just comes out, and I don't know what he's going to say exactly. I can't think of the words, but just puts on the mouse ears. Or, tale as old as time.
I mean, there is an Aladdin movie coming up. Or do they do a throwback to Age of Ultron's? I got no strings to hold me down.
He can use any song if he wants.
I don't think that would happen, but that would be absolutely fucking
It would be
perfect.
it would be amazing. I would love it.
I got something I want to throw at you.
No, I don't want it.
So I'm looking at this theory that I've had cocked in the chamber that I want to throw your way.
Okay.
There are people out there that are saying that from the pictures and some of the Endgame promotional stuff that we've seen,
Yes.
that blonde Tony Stark is from a different timeline. Because there are images of a Tony Stark, and I'm actually going to just hand you my tablet instead of sending it to you.
Yeah, that works too.
That's the Tony Stark we're talking about.
Yeah.
And there are people saying that Tony Stark is not the real Tony Stark. It's one from an alternate timeline that helps the Avengers.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
Because, you know what, if you pay attention, his hair has been getting a little bit lighter throughout the movies, especially mostly starting at Iron Man 3. He had a little bit of lighting going on. It got lighter. It's also, if you look at the sides, they're going gray. And that was weird to take my headphones off while talking.
I mean, the camera.
I know. His hair's been graying. It's been getting lighter on top as if it's like just almost like sun bleaching does that. So that's, I don't agree with that. I think it's just kind of aesthetic and costume choices.
See,
I don't think it's alternate timeline, Tony. I don't feel like they're going to play into that really that much because they have a bunch of other parts of the storyline to work on right now. Or to go along with. Because Marvel doesn't overload when it comes to that. The most overloading they did was Infinity War with throwing all the characters into it, and it worked.
This would probably be Infinity War on steroids.
Probably.
Just saying.
It's going to be.
So for you saying, they won't do this, well, it's Infinity War on steroids, so why wouldn't they?
Because they want to make sure they get Infinity Wars all wrapped up. And I don't think they're going to also introduce this and do this and then have, separate timeline Tony. Oh, we never did separate universe Tony. Well, we never did separate universes before.
Well, there are going to be separate universes. Well, they're jumping back in time.
Yeah, timeline.
But when Cap jumps back in time, there's going to be two Caps.
Yeah.
So I mean, the thing that I think, and this is what I'm kind of leaning towards, is, and this would be a shock in the system. I believe Tony dies. I could be wrong, which 99% of the time I am, but I think it'd be ballsy.
Dies when?
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
I think he may die earlier in the film than we think. Everyone might be thinking he might be a Spider-Man type of thing, where like Spider-Man didn't get snapped away until the very end. And yet again, everyone didn't get snapped away until the end.
Yeah.
But we're all thinking that Tony's going to die at the end, and it's going to be this big, like, sad thing, and it's going to be, oh my God, Tony Stark is not. He started this, and now he is dead. What if they pulled the carpet out of us before we got 50% through the movie? So end of the first act, early second act, Tony dies. And he has a key piece of information that helps the Avengers win. And the only way for them to get to that is to find alternate Tony and figure out what he may know in here to help them beat Thanos.
See, I have a hard time believing that he's going to die that early, because not just that, and I know I've also read that the Russos, and I don't know how true this one is either, that they have all faked some of the...
well, like the Hulk was a... Ruffalo thought he was dead until he saw the movie in Infinity War.
Yeah.
He thought that Banner was dead and then saw the movie and was like, oh shit, I lived.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's weird that you wouldn't know.
Well, he filmed a scene of the Hulk dying.
They probably did. Did at least half the characters.
And they didn't tell him if he survived or not.
Probably not till the movie was done. Kira's also one of the ones that had troubles with spoilers too, Tom Holland. So
he was
you don't get to know,
because he was the one that was like, I think it was on Jimmy Fallon. He was like, I didn't know until I saw the movie that I survived the movie. Yeah, and it was a big shock.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I agree with the Tony Stark thing, because there's also scenes that and again, we know that necessarily the scenes aren't all true. That doesn't, whether they altered something small or maybe they just made up a scene, throw in there like Game of Thrones does with their extra 5 hours each episode of filming. But he's in there's those new suits that all of them are in, walking to go wherever they're supposed to go. And my guess, as everyone's been saying, they're quantum suits.
Unless they gave him one.
The alternate Tony, maybe, but I think it's the Tony, because also in another scene, when him and Nebula are stuck on the ship, most of the ones are of despair and I'm not making out of this. There's one, it shows it looks like he's starting to work on shit again.
Yeah, that Iron Man 1.
The Tony Stark spark is back.
Oh, I think he survives from space.
Yeah.
I don't think... I think at the very least, Captain Marvel comes back and they go, oh my God, Tony's gone, don't worry, I'll find him. And then shoots up and saves him.
I mean, there's two people that can save him.
What, Thor and Captain Marvel?
Yeah, those two are the only two that can save him.
And Captain Marvel might know where he is, or if it's you know what? No,
Thor
Rocket. Rocket might be
he might be able to ping the ship.
And then Captain Marvel can go find him.
Yeah, or... Thor can Bifrost them, whichever one they feel like.
Bifrost them onto the ship?
Or
without breaking the ship?
I don't know. How does the Bifrost work? I'm not 100% sure.
Speaking of Thor, I want to throw out what you sent to me in a text message. Do you think he's getting a new weapon?
I don't think so, but I thought it was a really cool theory. I think it was, Megan Yord? Megging Yord.
Okay.
There we go. I was trying to say it because out of memory. So basically from the comics, it's a belt that gives him even enhanced strength and what else? I know I sent you the link. I didn't pull it myself. I probably should do that. I need to switch this.
Johnny not having things prepared. But I mean, it was interesting that you sent me that, though.
Yeah, no, it would.
Because my thing was when you said that, I was like, why? He just got Stormbreaker.
Yeah, no, the only reason I would say, it may be a possibility is maybe he doesn't feel strong enough still. He's worried and goes, you know what? I need more. Stormbreaker, it made me this much more powerful. But I want a no 0% chance of failure this time. So maybe the first act they kind of go head to head with Thanos, because they were saying there's one scene out there, your teams, let's do this, and they sent one team to go against Thanos while the other one does whatever, and they just get their asses handed to him. Thor goes, no, this is it. I'm going to get something that's going to stop any chances of us losing next time.
Yeah.
And that would be the only way I see them going, okay, I'm going to go find this belt.
Well, because Thanos
Megging Yord belt.
Because Thanos has a new weapon, too. He's got kind of it's almost like a Darth Maul double blade where he can... I think he can also break it apart.
Probably. Most of the times, though. Twist and pull apart, double blade.
The villain can do that. And it's how did you do that? I'm the villain, motherfucker.
I'm the villain.
Do whatever I want.
I'm the antagonist game. Shing, double sword.
Did you pull up the article about the...
No, I didn't pull up the article. I just pulled up the
Because
the Wikipedia.
Tell people about it if they have not heard of it before.
Okay, so I'll just read from history. It's part of Norse myth, and it's also in the comics. Megan, oh God, now I'm starting to catch it from you.
Well, it's not a cold.
I'm joking.
Okay. Well, because Dave yesterday, as we were recording, was like, "Don't give me it." I'm like, "It's not a cold."
Just losing your voice.
I had my voice the whole day. It took that 1/2 hour, that one time in that half hour, to make it go away.
I was joking. Okay. No, Megan.
Very defensive about it. Very insecure about it.
Megan Jord is the enchanted belt of strength owned by Thor. When worn by Thor, his already legendary strength is doubled. So could you imagine Thor basically
twice as powerful?
So he went up against the Hulk in Ragnarok. Imagine him twice as powerful then with that belt. So basically, yeah. Let's see. First used by Thor when trapped in the magician Sandu, who was being manipulated by Thor's evil stepbrother Loki. The belt was normally held in reserve by Odin in Asgard when Thor was not using it. So, I mean, Marvel can change that however they want. So, they can change the story behind that however they want. It could be that he goes to Eitri and says, I need more. I need one more thing that you got for me. The
question that I have...
But, yeah, go ahead.
And this is a little bit different, too, is how much of... Because, like, Thor, I think it's going to be, I need to get powerful because I don't want... Like, just having Stormbreaker did not help.
Yeah.
There's another theory I'm looking at that Doctor Strange is in complete control. That, hey, at the beginning of the movie, he said, we got to protect the time stone at whatever cost. I don't care about you. My goal is to protect this. Then he sees all the outcomes. And the only reason he would give up the time stone is if it meant getting that one outcome that he saw, that they defeat Thanos. And people are starting to think, well, does that mean everything about the victory is with Doctor Strange? Like, he's in complete control of this, and that the way for them to win is the time stone. Is the time stone the thing that they need to get from Thanos in order to win in Avengers Endgame? And for me, I find that hard because it's like, first off, how do you get one of these gems away from Thanos? Because he kicked your ass the last time.
Kicked your ass, and not to mention, it's basically, it looks like it's fused to his hand now.
Because that's going to be interesting, too, is like, when Tony gets back to Earth, Cap and them might be like, well, let's take him on. And Tony will be like, no, you don't understand. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at that. Cap might say, yes, we can take him on. Because, like, Cap had the hand, and he was at least holding his own. Whereas Iron Man will be like, dude, no, he kicked our ass. He literally kicked our ass. We cannot go fight him. And that to me is the big part of this is how do you get the ones that have been dusted back if one of them is in complete control? That's the thing I don't get.
Yeah.
And I wonder how early in the film or how late the ones that have been dusted come back. If they do come back. Because like I know you said they all come back.
I feel like they all do. But
a lot of them, do they come back? The end, the middle, the beginning?
A lot of them have franchises we need to figure out, Ricky. No, I'm kidding. I think most, if not all of them, come back. I think all of them will. And because these are like, a lot of them too, and this isn't necessarily me just saying, oh, it's franchising. These are all the newer, a lot of them that got dusted are all the newer characters.
But
so they're the storylines that will continue.
I
think it's going to be near the end of the movie. This is going to be like the resolution of, we fixed everything.
Or is it going to be like at the beginning of Act 3, and then Act 3 is going to be them taking down Thanos?
Maybe. But, I mean, if they got everyone back, that's what they want, unless they go back to make sure the job is done.
Well, yeah, it's like after getting everyone back, okay, we got to make sure the job is done so Thanos can't do this again.
Maybe, but one thing I would think is, like, if they get everyone back, Thanos needed all the stones to do that. Yeah. They have all the stones then. That's what that would mean. Because to get everyone back, they have to have all the stones, or unless there's some other way out there force that can do that.
Does Vision come back?
Maybe they rebuild him.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do they?
Maybe
Maybe they rebuild him. Yeah, Johnny, that's what I'm asking.
I don't know though. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna rebuild him
because he got stabbed, turned to gray, and the Mind Stone ripped from his head, or ripped from his head, and then he turned gray.
Yeah, he turned gray because Thanos ripped it out of his head and crushed his skull in.
Yeah,
it's like my stone. That's a hard one. I feel like they are gonna work on rebuilding him,
because Vision was a little bit of
Tony, a little bit of Bruce,
a little bit of Ultron, a little bit of Jarvis,
and a little bit of the Mind Stone.
Yeah. So I mean, they would have everything.
Shuri was almost done fixing him.
Here's the thing, though, and the question I have with that is, if the body that they already have is working, then that's fine. But let's say they have to build a new body. Does that mean you have to reprogram an Ultron for that part that was in there? Because Vision does have a little bit of Ultron in him.
That's what one thing I'm wondering about is like if they're rebuilding him, and
there are people that think Ultron will be back in a future MCU movie.
That's the other thing is like all they need to do is when they tamper with the timeline, one Ultron survives and goes into hiding. Just like I spoiled a little bit for myself, and I won't bring it up because I started looking at who was all in there on IMDb. Another spoiler: be aware of IMDb to give you some. And you know what? Some of those could be time travel parts. Because I think I wonder if Wong's supposed to help out this time. Who else was left behind? That I don't think M'Baku's going to, because he's got. I think he's going to be sitting on the throne for now. Kind of keeping Wakanda together. Who are we missing that were kind of side people?
I had to look this up, but we have seen Ultron already in a different MCU movie.
Oh yeah?
I'm reading this straight from a Screen Rant article. Given this is the case, it's reasonable to assume that Tony Stark personally oversaw cleanup after the Battle of Sokovia.
Right.
We have done so through damage control. The former S.H.I.E.L.D. department he'd taken charge of after the Chitauri invasion of New York. Unfortunately, Stark was unaware of the existence of Adrian Toomes. For years, Toomes have been operating at the center of an illegal black market and advanced in extraterrestrial technology. I'm just going to cut to the point where they say it. If Toomes had managed to obtain one piece of Ultron tech, it's reasonable to assume he'd acquired it and sold on other samples too. So that's like
Spider-Man.
We didn't see it, but in Homecoming it was.
Didn't he have one of the heads actually?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
He had one of the Ultron heads.
To where it's like, that means, hey, he probably found other pieces and sold them to people.
Of course.
So Ultron tech is out there.
AIM. AIM's not done just because Adrian's dead. Or Aldrich.
You are one really hoping for a MODOK appearance.
I want a MODOK appearance, but it's kind of hard to do if Tony Stark's not going to do another movie.
True.
So it's kind of hit or miss if I really want to see that at this point. No, I'm just giving an example of like how that could be resurrected is AIM. Would be an easy way to just bring about.
Do you think at the end of this movie we see a tease for... I know that people say, well, guys, they're not doing phases, but do you think if they do a tease for the future of the MCU, is it X-Men or is it something else? Like post-credit wise?
Post-credit, I don't... Maybe hint at the X-Men.
Or are they all payoffs and jokes towards what we just went through?
I think one of them is going to be a joke.
Well, duh.
But I think it might set up for... Well, obviously, they're going to be set up for Spider-Man Homecoming. Or Far From Home.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a setup for something else in the universe, too.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily X-Men. I think something, since they want to go... Galactic, Universal.
Might not be Galactus.
Might not be. But I'm saying it's something bigger, whether it be Nova, something.
They've teased the Nova movie.
They have teased a Nova. Something further with, oh God, they hit the Eternals movie they're talking about doing.
Well, they are doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Angelina Jolie's going to be in it.
Okay. I'm curious and
yeah. They're also doing a I think his name is Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi,
So
yeah.
that's linked with Iron Fist and that side of things.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that one's going to be like when they pull it back to Earth. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing I'm saying. It's like it could be anything that you can think space. Mm-hmm. It could be setting up for the next Captain Marvel, setting up for a surprise Thor movie because he said he'll keep doing Thor movies.
Apparently, from what I read today, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
Was that... I'm going to pull up the exact article.
He must have put the kibosh on quitting acting except for Thor because he's doing other movies again.
So Thor 4 is going to be directed by Taika Waititi.
Good.
And it has been pitched per Tessa Thompson.
Oh, shit.
So Tessa Thompson who played Valkyrie. Let's see. According to Thompson, during a recent LA Times interview, the fourth Thor film has already been pitched at Marvel Studios. While the actress claims that she doesn't know specifics about it, she adds that Ragnarok director Waititi is said to be returning to helm the film.
Good.
Here's the exact quote. I heard that a pitch has happened for another Thor film. I don't know how real that intel is, but I hear that the pitch has happened. I think the idea is Taka would come back, she said. So a Thor 4 movie looks like it could be happening. Why not? Like, Thor Ragnarok was so good.
Mm-hmm. Especially Taika Waititi, get Thor and Valkyrie back together.
And think about it. Like, if you think about the scheduling, Chris Hemsworth, not Helmsworth.
Hey, you got it right.
Can...
Next we'll teach him how to say Norse words.
Yeah, he can do what he wants to do while just doing Thor movies. Like, this Thor movie isn't going to be like next summer. It's going to be a little bit.
It's going to be down the line.
Yeah, like it
got
pitched.
But I'm saying, though, anything...
So he's going to have a couple years before filming.
Anything galactically you can think about. I mean, there's another Guardians. I know that one's not going to be set up for because that was just kind of like fixed. Like that whole thing was kind of fixed. So I don't think there's going to be set up for that because they had that on the back burner while this was going on. And this was a little, again, another thing to me that's a little too close to like throw something in there right now.
I mean, for me with Thor, I think that's the reason why I'm like, does Thanos die? Because I think Thor might want him dead.
Thor wants him dead, so I don't think he's going to let him live. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I brought earlier, do you think it's going to be sort of a Infinity Gauntlet ending Gauntlet? Or do you think it's going to be like Marvel's ending of, we're going to off Thanos at this point because Thor wants him dead. I'm pretty sure everyone else does too at this point because Cap watched Bucky turn to dust. Everyone watched kind of their friend and family turn to dust. So, I mean, then no one's going to want to leave him alive. I don't think many people are going to have sympathy for him to keep him alive.
So you think they'll kill him?
I think they might off him unless there's someone out there that says, no, you need to keep him alive anyways. The only one I could think...
Tony.
That might be is either Tony or maybe Doctor Strange.
Because Doctor Strange might say, no, we don't.
We don't kill to kill.
Well, because he'd seen the future.
Exactly.
Yeah, Cap, I could see.
Cap was a hard one, but I think in the long run, he's too dangerous to keep alive.
Yeah. The thing with Tony, though, is he alive to do that? Which I'm going to say
that would
no.
be the question.
I'm saying no. I think Tony dies.
I think, what if that's what kills Tony?
Killing Thanos?
No, Thanos, like him saying, no, keep Thanos alive. We don't just kill to kill.
And then Thanos snaps his head.
Or has his sword still. And
I could see it. Like, for me, like, if you are a person that thinks Tony's going to live...
I don't think he's going to live by the end of the movie.
Well, those people I'm not calling idiots because he could live.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking every single character gets out of this alive,
oh no,
somebody is dying.
Someone dies.
Somebody that we care about most is going to die.
I think one of the initial Avengers is going to die. But we also know it's not Black Widow because she can get her own movie.
But
unless it's a pre-movie.
Is it a pre-movie? That's the thing.
That's true.
Is it a movie before all this?
I have people arguing things like, well, but she's past that age. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. With Samuel Jackson, we made him look like he's from the 90s again.
Honestly, I don't think Black Widow is the big kill.
No, I think it's one of the four initial.
Yeah, I wouldn't care enough about it.
I think it's one of the four initial Avengers.
And I don't think it's Thor.
No, well, not if they're going to pitch a Thor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's Thor. Out of the 4, you're saying Cap, Tony, Thor.
It's Tony or Cap.
And Bruce, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 4?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Bruce.
I don't think it's Bruce. I think it's Tony or Cap.
Those
are the two that
Tony
hit
and
hardest.
Cap would hit us the hardest. Bruce, I could see because then they could do like the Hulk is dead, and then they could maybe do a She-Hulk or a Thunderbolt Ross
This
Hulk.
doesn't even mean they can't do a Hulk without him.
Without Bruce?
They need her. They need Bruce's blood to make She-Hulk with the correct storyline.
True. I mean, so I'm going to take that back. He doesn't die. Yeah, it's going to be...
Cap or Tony. It's the
and
two
that's
hardest
why I'm
hitting
saying
ones.
Tony over Cap.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they kill Captain America.
I'll make a bet with you right now. I don't know what you want to bet for.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Tony.
Well, I think it's going to be Tony too.
Okay. Well, that doesn't
That
work
would
then.
be a bad bet. Like we would both win or both lose.
We can do something where if we lose, we do something else.
Yeah, I'm not taking that bet if I have to take Cap.
I'm not saying you have to take Cap. If we're both wrong about it, we do something. We'll figure it out and we'll post it somewhere.
I'll think about it
another time.
I'll think about it. I'm not going to commit to anything right now.
Oh, you should commit.
Any final
That's what that is.
Any final thoughts on this? As we're almost we're about 15 minutes from going an hour on this. No, wait, let me do my math. We're about 20 minutes away from an hour.
I just have to say I can't wait to see this movie. I cannot wait to see it 18 times.
And how it is going to work is, so Friday it comes out. We are not going to be able to see it on Thursday like we did last year.
Yeah.
Which works because the NFL draft is that night, so I can do the live stream with Dave and Sean, and we can record that podcast. But on Friday, the 26th, Johnny, Dave, and I are going to see Avengers, and then that night we will record it. So Saturday, unless there's something in a fire has set the studio ablaze.
Yeah, you better knock on wood.
Knock on wood, because I don't want that to happen. We will be getting that to you Saturday morning at 10 o'clock is when that review will come out. So I cannot wait for it. If you guys have any predictions, let us know what you're thinking heading into Avengers Endgame down below in that comment section.